I want to show my viewers something. It's very important. It will only take a few minutes of your time. It's from the Book of Jasher, chapter 61. It has to do with none other than, you guessed it, Esau. This is verse 5. It says, Zepho. And who is that? This is a descendant of Esau. Zepho was the son of Eliphaz. And his dad Eliphaz was a direct son of Esau. As it says here. And we're going to focus on that first name mentioned, Zepho, because this chapter has some information regarding that descendant of Esau, Zepho. And we're going to read these last two verses, verse 24 and verse 25. Oops. All right, here we go. Verse 24 says, And the children of Chittim, for those of you that are wondering what is Chittim, that is Greece, Cyprus, the little island right off Israel. That's what it was called back in the days, Chittim. It says that, and another thing, and at that time, the people living in Chittim were the descendants of Japheth. Keep that in mind. Remember, they inhabited the isles of the Gentiles, which would be the same places that Esau and his people would come to inhabit before they pushed the people of Japheth up north, where all the cold region is at, over there in Iceland and all those places, Sweden, Germany, etc. So it says that the children of Chittim, or in other words, Japheth, Chittim again is Cyprus / Greece. It says that they saw the valor of Zepho, the descendant of Esau, and the children of Chittim resolved It says that they resolved, and they made Zepho king over them. And he became king over them. And whilst he reigned, they went to subdue the children of Tubal. Who was that? Tubal is one of the descendants of Japheth. And Japheth is one of the sons of Noah. But for those of you wondering where is Tubal located, that would be where modern day Turkey is at today. It says that Zepho also went conquering all the surrounding islands. Remember, Esau will live by the sword. And same thing with his descendants. Verse 25. This is a very important verse. It's going to give us some insight regarding Rome and its strong connection with the Edomite descendants of Esau. It says that King Zepho went at their head, the head of the children of Japheth, and they made war with Tubal, located in modern-day Turkey, somewhere in Turkey, and also the islands. and they subdued them. So Zepho and the followers from the children of Japheth helped subdue Tubal and the surrounding islands. And when they returned from the battle, it says they renewed his government. That's where I'm at. They renewed his government for him. And they built for him a very large place for his royal habitation. See that? This is very important. This is key to why it is that they remain in this area I'm about to read. For so long they've been there. This is their favorite place of Esau. It says that they built for him, for who? Zepho, a very large place for his royal habitation and seat. So this is where Zepho basically will set up shop. Let's read where that place is. It says, and they made a large throne for him. Wow, so they're pulling out all the stops for Zepho, the children of Japheth. So he's got a throne. It says, and Zepho reigned over the whole land of Chittim. Again, that's Greece. And over the land of, what does it say right there? Written exactly how it is written today. 50 years he reigned there. Now we see and understand why the descendants of Esau haven't let go of Rome. Now keep in mind, this is going back to the early chapters of the Book of Genesis. That's why they've been there to this day, because that's where their throne is. Also, I found this article to be quite interesting. Let me see if I could get it to load here. I thought it's pretty interesting. You just can read it for yourselves. Basically the same information I just read to you. From the Book of Jasher. How Zepho, the descendant of Esau, the son of Eliphaz, all Edomites, came about and started ruling not just in Chittim, Greece, but also in Tubal, Turkey, and Italy. I encourage my viewers to get a map and start getting familiar with some of these ancient maps where you see all these lands here. As you can see throughout the centuries, throughout the ages, they've changed name, obviously. But one that hasn't changed from what we're reading here is Italy, Italia, just as it is spelled exactly the same to this day. Just how we read it in the Book of Jasher, confirming that that is the favorite dwelling place where Edom rules. And we can see the influence of all these Edomite powers in many countries. as well as here in the States. Just because they speak Latin, Italian, doesn't mean that the U.S. does not have any connection to Rome, because they very much do. Like I said, you could consider the United States the strong arm, the right arm of the Vatican, Rome. And Rome, I would consider it the religious power behind the strong arm, the one that gives the orders. But as I speak, the nation of Edom, in particular the army nation of Edom here in the States, is being brought low by our Heavenly Father through the increasing judgments that are befalling this nation. So I just thought I'd share this information. It's very important. I made the video on Esau, and some of my viewers will be wondering, okay, so he conquered a lot of places, but which one is his favorite one, right? Which one is his favorite dwelling place? Well, it's Rome, because they built this huge throne for him there and all kinds of things for him. So that's where he settled, as the name says right there, Italia, just exactly as we read it in the Book of Jasher. And ever since, the descendants of Esau have not let go of that place. No matter where they went to conquer, that was their place. That's the place where Zepho said, from here on out, this is going to be our ruling seat. We're not going to leave it no matter where we expand to. And that's where the Pope sits too, to this day. Just more information to consider, because it will come in handy. By bringing forth this information, they got nowhere to hide. The more you learn about your enemies, because one of the first rules of engagement is you got to know your enemy, And one of the things that the pastors, preachers, or so-called prophets or speakers for the Lord, especially in these mainstream churchianity, they like to preach all these judgment messages, that's all fine and dandy, but to whom is it speaking to? To whom does it concern? Whose children, right? I mean, it applies to everybody in general, but obviously we're all not the same, right? We all have different characteristics, obviously, right? Though we sometimes behave in similar ways, we all have different demeanors. So they don't tell you who is God speaking to in particular, because some chapters in scriptures are referencing to individuals in particular, and they don't let you know who they are. Okay, judgment. All right, but you need to know, who is he talking about? Who are these people? They don't point out specifically who they are. And that's what I want to do. I want to encourage my viewers to get familiar with these individuals, and not in a negative way, but like I said, you must know your enemy. That's one of the first rules. You must know thine enemy. Once you get familiar with him, you use discernment. You don't just go pointing the finger. Oh, he's Esau, he looks like Esau, so he must be him. No. Some of them just are ignorant. They don't know, because they don't study, they don't research, they don't get familiar with history, so they can identify who's who in the world today. So I just thought I'd share this with you guys. Hope you appreciate it and take the truth for what it's worth. Adios.